What's going on, guys? Your boy Fluff here. Yet another Necromancer build, guys, for you guys today. You're not going to believe it. It's a Pestilence build, and it's able to do T13, and it's pretty quick. So, without further ado, let's get into the one-shot Spear Necro. That's right, you guys heard me. No need to adjust your speakers or your headset. This is using that set that no one ever uses or talks about, the Pestilence set. Now, let me first caveat by saying this isn't going to be the fastest T13 setup there is. Guys, there's Corpsemancer, there's Blood Mage, there's Army of the Dead, all really fast. But I think you guys will find this surprisingly fast. This will clear T13 GR60 in about 2.5 to 4.5 minutes, and it's actually a lot of fun to play, and I think you guys are going to like it. So me, like a lot of you guys, have had this set just kind of sitting in the bank. You're probably getting ancient pieces left and right for it, and never using it. But I finally sat down earlier today, and late last night, and figured out something that would really work for this. So let's talk about Pestilence, because we've never covered this set. The 2 set, while it's a really cool effect, it sucks. We don't care about this whatsoever, which says each corpse you consume fires a corpse lance. Our corpse lance damage is absolutely 0 in this build, guys. We don't care about that 2-piece. 4 set, each enemy you hit with Bone Spear reduces your damage taken by 2% up to a maximum of 50% and lasts 15 seconds. This will be up pretty much 100% of the time. And then lastly, each corpse you consume grants you an empowered Bone Spear charge that increases the damage of your next Bone Spear by 3,000%. Now guys, we're going to be at 100 stacks of this almost 100% of the time. Now this build's pretty unique. Every skill and choice here really has an effect on how we've put this together. Our big damage dealer here is Bone Spear with Shatter. We'll get into why that rune choice in a minute, but Bone Spear is our primary damage dealer. How do we juice up Bone Spear in this build? 1, we're using Maltorius's Petrified Spike, which says Bone Spear now costs 40 essence and deals basically up to 450% increased damage. And you keep using Scythe of the Cycle. Again, secondary skills deal 300% additional damage while Bone Armor is active, and reduce the remaining duration of the Bone Armor by 4 seconds. So again, guys, really important to keep Bone Armor up because it will juice up your Bone Spear damage by a 300% multiplier. So keep your eye on Bone Armor duration. Don't let it drop. And of course, we're using Crispin's Sentence, a staple in any Necromancer build, guys. You deal 100% increased damage to slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies afflicted by any other type of control impairing effect. We are going to be proccing this, guys, especially on elites, and we'll touch on that. We're also getting more damage through wearing the Endless Walk set, and that says while standing still, damage dealt is increased by up to 100%, and then while moving we get 50% damage reduction, and it kind of teeters in one direction or not. Now, I'm sure you guys know how Endless Walk works, but I'll just show you real quick. As I start moving, you can see the stacks start to move over towards the toughness side. And then when I stop moving, you can see the stacks move over towards the damage side. So now, what's the gimmick here? Bone Spear is obviously a single target damage dealer. Hits for a lot, but doesn't hit a large radius. Obviously can't clear a screen. What are you supposed to do? How can we make this work? Well, Rig's Wrath, guys. Finally have an excuse to use this ring. What this does is uncursed enemies are pulled to the target location when a curse is applied to them. When you curse something, they're all going to get sucked into that center. Just to show you guys what that looks like, here we have some uncursed enemies. We're just going to curse them, and they all get gathered to the center just like that. Now, why would we want them in one tiny singular location? Because Bone Spear hits like a truck. And that's why we've chosen Bone Spear with Shatter here. Because instead of piercing, now it detonates the first enemy it hits, dealing 500% weapon damage to all enemies within 15 yards, basically. So since they're all going to be in that tight little radius, they're all going to get hit by this huge Bone Spear. Now, while that's usually enough to kill everything that you've just sucked in with your Rig's Wrath, we're going one step further with our curse. We're choosing Volatile Death, which says cursed enemies explode, dealing 100% weapon damage on death. We're using a 2-hander here, so our weapon damage is off the charts. At a whopping 4,406, this is ancient, it's a 2-hander. I rolled damage and attack speed on it. We just want to get this number as high as possible. When your enemies die from your spear, which is bound to happen when you get big juicy pack together, they're all going to explode. And so this goes off like a chain reaction, and everything in that little circle is just dead. And pretty much any elite in the game outside of a Juggernaut will get one-shot by this. And this goes to say for pretty much any Necromancer build, besides maybe pets, is that it struggles with Juggernauts, guys. Why Juggernauts? 1, Juggernauts have a ton of health, and that really sucks. But 2, because every Necromancer build relies on Crispin's Sentence. which says, you know, if you stun them, you do a bunch of damage to them. Well, guess what, guys? Juggernauts can't be stunned. Not only do they have a ton of health, you can't deal one of your biggest damaging effects to them. The Juggernauts are really just fun suckers for the Necro. Now, to deal with these Juggernauts and the Rift Guardian, we've chosen Simulacrum. Now, what Simulacrum does with this particular rune is it creates 2 duplicates of yourself that will cast Bone Spear as well. And of course, instead of just talking about, I'll just show you. We cast it, we get 2 little duplicate guys, we get 3 little Bone Spears going out. How cool is that? When you just have one target on the screen, this is OP. Now, Bone Spear is going to take a ton of essence to cast. Because of the Maltorius' Petrified Spike, it's going to cost 40 essence. So we can basically only cast it, 4 or 5 times before we're completely drained of essence. But, of course, we've thought about this, guys. One, we're running Devour with Cannibalize, and this again, guys, we're just gonna numlock this skill so it's auto casting itself. So anytime something dies, we're gonna get juiced up from the essence it creates. We're also running a Dark Reaping. Every time anything dies, we get 2% essence per kill. For the armor slot in the cube, we're using Requiem Seraplate, which says Devour restores an additional 100% essence in life. In addition, when Devour restores essence or life above your maximum, the excess is granted over 3 seconds. So this is gonna keep our essence up like crazy. Between this and Dark Reaping, you're never going to drop below 100%. And surprisingly enough, it's a great source of healing. It makes you pretty tanky, which is really cool. Now, why Blood Rush with Molting? It's a very specific reason here, guys. When you first start a Rift, you will have no stacks of this empowered Bone Spear. 0. So what you want to do is you want to dash once, create that corpse on the ground, consume it. You'll have at least 1 stack of Bone Spear, which is actually all you need to kill that first pack. And then you'll have, 50 just right out of the gate. And like I said, guys, you'll be at 100 stacks of this Empowered Bone Spear pretty much the entire Rift. It's really important to have this rune on Blood Rush. And then lastly, also very important here, guys, Bone Armor with Dislocation. Why Dislocation? Because this is... it's a dick. Why Dislocation? Because this is actually the only way and the most necessary way to proc the secondary effect of Crispin's Sentence basically on demand. So you're going to be up in their grill, so you're going to be slowing them with Bane of the Trapped, and then proccing Crispin's with your Bone Armor Dislocation. Now it's really important, guys, you want to pop Bone Armor for Elite Packs. You're probably not going to one-shot Elite Packs unless they're stunned first. So it's really important when you get that big group together, you stun them first, and then throw the spear. And you'll see that in the gameplay. For passives here, we want Spreading Malediction. You're going to have a crazy amount of mobs that you've just juiced into the center with Brig's Wrath. They're all going to be in one tiny location. You're going to get this effect like crazy, which gives you 1% damage bonus for each enemy afflicted by one of your curses. We're also using Standalone here, guys, because we have no pets. We get 100% increased armor. Lastly, we're running Final Service. Our DI is really nice, but I think, guys, once Fueled by Death is fixed, we will swap this out. And I think that will also attribute to faster clear times overall, because there's basically no way we can move faster, because every rune here we've decided on is absolutely necessary. Lastly, we already talked about it, Dark Reaping. Got to keep that essence up. The last 2 slots, self-explanatory here, guys. Nemesis Bracers, most OP bracers in the game for speed builds. We are running physical damage here, so you want to juice this up with physical damage. Same thing with your Traveler's Pledge. You would want physical, crit damage, crit chance if you could. Belt, we're running a Witching Hour. More damage, great. If you guys find that you need the toughness, you can wear Dainty's Binding and swap out that curse for any one of these Decrepify runes. But I would strongly encourage you guys to check out Volatile Death. That rune is amazing, and it makes sure that the Bone Spear one-shots everything. Now, Legendary Gems, we're using Bane of the Trapped. No explanation needed here. Using Esoteric Alteration because we do need the mitigation. And lastly, we're using Bane of the Powerful. More damage for that spear. Statting wise, cooldown's nice here because it does give you, a blood rush faster. It also gets you bone armor faster. Also gives you that simulacrum to bring back as fast as possible. And this is, again, guys, how you deal with those juggernauts, how you deal with the Rift Guardian. Makes it so you can still 1-2 shot these guys. Quick side note, I see a lot of Necros running around with diamonds in your gear. Don't do that, guys. Only in the helmet. You want to run Topaz in the gear. We're not going to go into all the stat rolls here, guys. Again, cooldown reduction is really nice. And the weapon, like I said before, we just kind of want to make this damage roll as high as possible, so damage attack speed is really nice. The only real thing of note here, guys, on the gear is the boots is the only slot that can roll the bone spear, so make sure you guys pick that up. So again, guys, how you play this, you get a nice juicy pack together with your curse, you stun them, throw the spear, boom, everything gets one shot. Again, nice big curse, stun, boom. everything goes blown up. And that's basically it, guys. We'll leave a rift clear at the end of this video. GR60 again, guys, this is T13 equivalent. Just want to display how fast it can do it. Who knew Pestilence could actually do T13 and do T13 well enough to actually be viable? Now again, guys, this is not going to be as fast as the Bloodmancer, the Corpsemancer, Army of the Dead. But if you really want to use that Pestilence set and you're looking for something different, this is a lot of fun, and I strongly recommend you guys check it out. This is by far the fastest Pestilence build we've seen on the interweb. If you have any questions, please use the comment section below. As always, guys, like, subscribe, come over to Twitch, ask your questions, support me on Patreon. We love you guys. Peace out.